Bitcoin just continuing to chop around here, folks. There's not a whole lot for me to give you updates on Bitcoin. Again, we've talked about how you had this move up. This was the beginnings of a bull flag. Then it failed. Then you started a bear flag. Then that failed. Now you're just going here, but now it looks like it's failing here. And basically, when you get this type of action as a technician, you can't try to make a mountain out of a molehill. You just have to say, listen, it's a chop shop. That's what it is. And so what you want to do is you want to then say, okay, well, what does that mean? Well, basically what you can do is you can draw a trend line like this, right? And then take this and do a trend line down like this. And essentially, and it's not the greatest of wedge patterns I just drew, but essentially that's what it's becoming now. You're just getting a lot of this chop in here, right? Which is now just consolidation. And the question remains, do we break to the upside or do we break to the downside? Upside break, you retest the highs here at around 44 to 45,000. If that breaks, you go to 48 to 50, which is my max move on Bitcoin in the near term at least. And if you break to the downside, we know where support is, right? You have this level and this level. They're both converging. We can just extend those out here. And it basically gives us $38,000 target to the downside. So that would be basically your support and resistance. Now, again, you might say, hey, well, what about in 6 months from now? What about in a year? Where's Bitcoin? Those I have my own perceptions on, but the shortest, and this is going to be important, folks, the shortest predictions are going to be the most accurate. And the reason they're so accurate, and again, if you look at my short-term, like day trading track record, 95%, right? Swing trading track record, 80%. If you look at my longer-term projections, that's where it probably gets towards like 60, 65%. And the concept is this, is that the longer you hold a trade or you're looking out in terms of distance, you know what happens? You have more variables that can change. Like, for instance, over the last few years, Russia invaded Ukraine. Hamas struck Israel and created this now war between Hamas and Israel, right? I mean, there's lots of different things that we just don't know, right? COVID, how many people went in, 6 months ahead of even it hitting China and was like, oh, that next year we're going to have this monster flush and then this massive bull run. Almost no one, right? Because no one could predict that because it was so far out. So always remember that the short-term predictions are going to be the most accurate because you basically have the least amount of time where something can adjust in the charts versus the long term. And that's a good, and this is the thing, guys. Everyone's asking me, right? Like, I mean, I go on all these interviews and all these other things, and they're like, oh, where do you see gold by the end of 2024? Where do you see Bitcoin by the end of 2024? And I give my opinion, right? But in reality, the odds of that being correct are much, much lower than something like KBH's chart, which we're looking for a pullback in the next 1 week period, right? That's a very short-term boom type thing. And same thing with natural gas, right? Natural gas, if it puts in a bottoming tail for the next couple of weeks, you're bullish on natural gas. Who the heck knows where natural gas is in 12 months from now, right? I certainly don't. Okay, I just want to make that clear because I think that's a really important thing to grasp when you're talking about charting. And that goes for everyone. Everyone's getting asked. All the analysts, all the talking heads, all the influencers are giving their opinion for the whole next year. The accuracy level is going to be like this. It's just the nature of it. Okay. Couple other things here, guys, on the charts. Let's quickly go over gold. Gold is having a pause day thus far. So gold, again, nothing going on here. Again, if we start to make bullish consolidation on this, so if we, again, nice push, bullish, then you start to reattack this high and this high. I do think that is going to happen. I think, again, the fear will come back. That will be a driver for gold. And I think ultimately, like I said, we'll get bounces in the dollar, but I think the dollar eventually goes lower as well. Couple other charts to quickly go over here. Silver, not much going on here. This was a great call from earlier this week. Guys, I saw so many of you guys took this and said you bought calls on SLV or you bought SLV or whatever, but look at that move up here. Now, same thing. We're looking to see if we consolidate here and build up for that next move up.
Hey, Crypto Street investors, we're strapping into the crypto rocket for a wild ride. Smash that subscribe button, hit like if you're ready for crypto thrills, and let's dive into the latest buzz featuring Bitcoin ETF token and the Bitcoin bull market. We got the scoop on Bitcoin ETF token, the rising star in the crypto galaxy. While Bitcoin aims for that epic $50,000 milestone, Bitcoin ETF token, or $BT ETF, is gearing up for its grand entrance. Imagine a crypto sidekick stealing the spotlight before it even launches. That's $BT ETF for you. Why the hype? Well, with Bitcoin's bull run in full swing, $BT ETF is humming the limelight with its ongoing pre-sale. It's like the cool kid on the crypto block. Why? Because it's got the potential to outshine Bitcoin in December. With a lower initial market cap and price, it's the underdog with a massive room for growth. Investors are flocking to the pre-sale, making it the talk of the town. But what's the secret sauce? It's not just the catchy name and ticker. $BC ETF is playing the long game, not a mean coin flash in the pan. It's riding the wave of Bitcoin's journey, not just the current buzz. How? DeFi magic, my friends, stake to earn, burning, and tax systems. A triple threat ensuring $BC ETF's long-term appeal and sustainable price action. The Bitcoin roller coaster is in full swing, soaring past $40,000, eyeing that elusive $50,000 summit. But wait, there's a side trip to a place called Bitcoin ETF token. How did it grab attention even before liftoff? Well, Bitcoin's bull run is a major player, and $BT ETF is stealing the show in its ongoing pre-sale. Is $BT ETF just another meme coin party crasher? Not quite. It's not here for a short-lived fiesta. With a roadmap that mirrors Bitcoin's journey, it's in for the long haul. DeFi mechanisms like stake to earn and burning set it apart from meme coin madness, ensuring $BT ETF's lasting appeal and market relevance. Now let's dive into the Bitcoin market analysis. The bull run hit a roadblock at the $44,000 zone. A 10% dip got us on a roller coaster descent. Buckle up, folks. Bitcoin's in a crucial range between $44,000 resistance and $40,000 support. Will it consolidate or break free? That's the million-dollar question. Now let's continue our enlightening discussion with Gareth Soloway.
Before I do anything else, let's walk over to this chart and discuss a little bit about what's going on. So the kicker is this, right? And this is why I'm a little riled up today, guys, because literally we had Jerome Powell coming out 2 days ago and saying 3 rate hikes next year, inflation, all this stuff. Well, guess what? Literally like 15 minutes ago, before this broadcast, Fed President Williams was on CNBC, and he's talking the opposite. He's walking back everything that Jerome Powell just said. He said it's too early to talk about rate cuts. We're still going to be this. We're still going to be strong. We're going to do that. You know, everything that literally he said. And I got to just throw more shit at the camera, right? Because this is just like, so all of a sudden you had the futures higher today, right? And basically we saw the futures now starting to sell off because he's walking back everything that was just said. It's really remarkable. And I don't know what they're smoking there at the Federal Reserve or what their ultimate motives are. Obviously, Jerome Powell carries the most weight, right? He's the Fed president. But my guess is that Jerome Powell was like, wow, you know, I really didn't know the markets would react so bullishly and we'd start hitting all-time highs on the Dow and get close on the NASDAQ and the S&P. You know, maybe you, Fed President William, should go out and talk it down a little bit. And it's like, dude, like, how do you not know that a pivot like that literally surprised? I mean, I talked to Mike McGlone, Scott Melker. I mean, I've talked to big Wall Street players. This shocked us all. And somehow it didn't register to him that it would have this reaction. And now the markets are going up, which is going to be inflationary, right? The wealth effect. You look at your 401k. Holy cow. I have all-time high money in my 401k, and it's Christmas time. You know what? Let me go out and buy that next, that next TV, that next car, whatever it is. Okay, now the demand goes, and we know inflation is a supply and demand side thing. So when there's a ton of demand, then you create an issue where if there's not enough supply, prices go up, right? So again, how this doesn't register, I don't know. I would love to know more about their inner thinking, but again, it is what it is. My job here is to just let you know what's going on, and we're going to get into the charts. So, without further delay, yesterday we had a day where the NASDAQ 100, this is the NASDAQ 100, was down fractionally. Now, you are into a lot of levels of resistance in this general range, right? So, again, you can see how we have 3 trend lines coming all together. One we're kind of right into. The other one's a little bit above, and the other one's just a little bit above there. Now, if we look at this, right, and if we zoom out on this, in fact, let's go to our weekly chart. This is where these lines come from, right? So, again, we have a very steep one coming from this pivot low right through this point and right through these lines right there. We have a secondary one here, all the way back to this level in March of 2020. And then we have the double top, the all-time high on the QQQ. So the Qs, again, are very near resistance. We are epically overbought.
That wraps up today's crypto news highlights. Stay tuned for more updates, insights, and analysis from the world of cryptocurrencies. Please share your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more engaging content.